Yo, it's Trent. Hope everyone's having a good day, good week. Wednesday, halfway there, so that's good. Hump day. So we got the first time that I really ever tried like real dispensary weed, and I got real fucking high in Colorado. So this was like 3 years ago, right? Or let me think about that. 3 to 4 years ago. Actually, it was 4 years ago because I was 15. Because I was in the driving school, but I wasn't 16 yet. I remember that. And my grandpa, right? He worked in California, and he's like, "Yo, I'm coming back." Like he was retiring, And he's like, "Could you fly? Could I fly you down here, and then you drive the car back with me?" And from California to Illinois, it's like a 4 day car ride if you're stopping at night, unless you go all the way through, then it can be like 2 days, I'm sure. But it wasn't. We weren't going all the way through. We were stopping. Sorry, I got a text, so that distracted me for a second. So we were going from California to Illinois. I flew down, met up with him, and he's like, "Okay, when it's the middle of the night or we're in the middle of nowhere, I'll let you drive." And he had a Mustang, so I was pumped up about that, right? Well, I don't know. In my head, thinking of a map, I don't know. Like if we went directly from California to Illinois, or if we went around, the states or whatever way we took. But his sister, my great aunt, lives in Colorado, and we were stopping to say hi, right? And at the time, I'd been smoking weed for like 2-3 years. If I'm 15, I started right before or right after I turned 13, so right around there, and but I'd never smoked like dispensary weed. It was only like weed you could get as a 15-year-old, so like taking it from my parents if they left anything out, or like my friends, or some shitty drug dealers that would sell to kids, like, you know what I mean? So it's only shit weed I'm smoking, and like those fake ass carts, those like Mario carts and the cereal carts, shit like that. Sorry, I'll stop bumping the table. But I'd never smoked like fucking fire, So get to Colorado, and when we're there, we're staying at this little motel that's like couple miles away from my aunt's house because there wasn't room to stay there, and I think there was like medical things going on with my great uncle, so it wasn't the time for us to be staying there. So we're at this little motel, and there's a dispensary right down the street, and it's like not new, but it's like it's still got like banners and shit, like they opened within a year or something, and so I noticed that when we first got into the little town. It wasn't a big town, it was just a little Colorado town with a lake, a really clear lake, and that little motel we were staying at for that night. So the dispensary wasn't closed when we got there, and we went out and got dinner. So we got dinner, and we get back, right, and my grandpa's got some work to do, or he's watching a movie or something like that, right, and I'm like, I'm gonna go for a walk. So I head straight towards the dispensary. I'm 15, there's absolutely no way in hell they're gonna sell to me. I know this, I'm not dumb. But I'm thinking, you know what? Just like the alcohol, when you ask like an adult to get you alcohol, it's like you never fucking know, like unless you try, So I'm walking, I saw like 2 or 3 cops on the way, just down this little road. So I'm like, this is not a great idea. And when I get there, there's a dude that looked literally perfect to ask. How do I describe him? It was a white dude with really long hair that was, it wasn't dreads or anything, but it was so tangled and messy and like non-washed. And I don't want to say he was homeless because he obviously had money for the dispensary. So, like he probably wasn't homeless, but he did not look like he had showered recently. You know what I mean? So I walked up to him because he looked kind of like a hippie dude. I'm like, yo, I got some cash, however much I had. Could you get me a joint or 2 or 3 or edibles or something, and you can just keep all the money, And he was like, yeah, sure. He's like, what do you want? And I had no idea, because I didn't know anything about dispensaries. If he asked me now, I'd be like, oh, I want the like 1 gram this, the 0.5 gram cart of this, these edibles, But back then I didn't know shit, so I was just like, can I have joints or a joint or however it comes, And he got me this 2-pack of joints and these little like mint edibles that were like $5. Like I see them now when I look at the dispensary. They're cheap as fuck. Like those things don't do shit. But he got those and he got these 2 big ass joints, the biggest joints I've ever seen. Because now, like from being 13 to 15 smoking, the only joints I ever smoked were like this big, like twigs that me and my friends tried to roll, you know? But these were my first, it was beautiful. And I took it out and I'm like, I gotta smoke this thing, right? And it had just gotten dark out and I got back to the motel. Had to make up some story about how I met people and got food with them, about why I didn't have money and shit to my grandpa. And he goes to sleep and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go smoke this, right? And it's pretty late. And there was a little, like I said, there was that lake and there was a little park in front of it, right? Across the street from the motel, or right down the street. So I walk there and there's a park bench and I faced the street instead of the lake because the wind was going. I didn't want it to blow out the joint or make a canoe or anything. So I light it up and I start smoking it, right? And the whole time, since I sat down, there's been a truck across the street in the parking lot of this like building complex. Big truck, white lights, just bright, staring right at me, right? When I'm sitting there. And he might have had his brights on, he might not have, could just been bright lights, I'm not sure. But I'm sitting there smoking for a good like 10, 15 minutes and I get through maybe half this joint and I am fucking higher than I've ever been. Like so high I'm seeing tracers when I'm walking and like I move my head and things are going slow, which only happened like the first time you get high, like that type of feeling, you know? And it was one of the greatest, like I wish I could replicate that feeling so badly, but I remember feeling so fucking high and I was thinking, I'm not gonna be able to finish this thing, but I can put it out and save it and walk back. So I start hitting it, you know, some more and I'm like, okay, I can barely like I feel weird putting it to my lips. Like I gotta stop smoking, you know? So I put it away and I'm absolutely stoned. It hasn't even fully kicked, you know? It takes like 5-10 minutes to really hit you. And so I'm walking, just getting higher. The whole time, like I'm saying, these truck lights are in front of me just bothering me. Like I'm wondering, why isn't this guy leaving? Why isn't he turning them off? Why isn't he doing something, you know? So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna walk past this truck to the left, not too close, but a little far away, just to see like what the guy inside's doing. Like, is he just looking at me? Like, is he just looking out? Maybe he's on the phone, you know? But I wanted to make sure it was nothing weird, you know? I'm not gonna get kidnapped or some shit. Plus, I was on the way to the motel anyways. So I'm walking past and I look at him. Side of the truck says fucking sheriff, dude. And he looked right over when I looked at him. And I just kept walking and I ended up putting up a hood and just kind of walked faster. But dude, good thing that cop didn't realize what I was doing or didn't care or thought I was older or what, because I was smoking, just blowing fat joint clouds, just staring at this truck wondering, why isn't he turning off his lights? Like, why are they so bright when it was a fucking cop, a sheriff? So it's like, God damn it. And so the next day I wake up, right? And I finished that one joint in the morning because my grandpa was doing some shit. And but then I had that other one still, right? And I had to smoke it before we kept driving, you know, because it was gonna reek the car up if I just kept it in there. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for a walk before we leave. He's like, okay, we'll leave in about an hour or two. So I'm like, perfect. I can smoke this a little time to sober up, and then I'm good, right? So I go back to that park area, but this time I walk down the little beach thing, so I'm a little more hidden, especially during the day, and I smoke it. And surprisingly, I got pretty, at the start I got pretty high again, but not that high where there was tracers. So I was like, okay, I gotta try to kill this thing, you know? Because whatever I didn't finish, I was gonna throw, and I never want to waste weed, you know? So I get to like 3/4, and my mouth is on fire. And I forgot to say, we drank whatever we got at the motel, like whatever drinks we brought. So there's no drinks, like we have to go get some, you know, when we leave. So I have the top 10 worst cotton mouth I've ever had, besides when I was on the plane the one time with edibles. Like this was bad. Like I could not breathe almost, and I just felt like everything was on fire. I needed a fucking drink so bad. So I killed a joint, I throw it in the water. Hopefully some fish got high, you know, and hopefully it was biodegradable. I hope I didn't kill like a fucking duck or something. So I'm high as fuck. I'm like, I need a drink now. I'm walking down the street, and the first thing that's right there is one of those half Mexican restaurant gas station places, you know? So I'm like, fucking bet, I'll go in here. I walk in just searching for any drink, you know? And I see, I think it was a Coke, like a bottled Coke, you know? I grabbed that thing, I just popped it off, and I just started chugging it. And they're all looking at me, and I don't think they were speaking English at all, but they were talking to me, I know that. And I'm just chugging the Coke, and I put the finger up like, and I finished. I was like, I'll pay. Just, I need a second. I need to drink this. And I was just, that's when it was all hit me, like from walking over there. And I was just so stoned. And I got my drink, paid the guy. It was all good, you know, they didn't care. And I walked out, and I took a little back way back to the motel. So I went behind the motel instead of the front, because I thought it would be the best way to avoid cops. And I was high and young, and I'm paranoid, you know. Turn the corner, dude, and the sheriff truck is sitting at the end of this, like, alley, like, half street, half alleyway. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? And I look at it, and I'm just high as fuck, and the driver dude's in there with his weird, like, sheriff cap thing on. I'm like, God damn it. And I just looked at him. He didn't do anything, obviously. Like, there was nothing crazy happened. I just walked back, and I was like, God, am I stoned? I had my Coke, and we ended up leaving, and I was probably high for, like, 3 hours. Those, like, man, I wish, like, if I get a joint now from the dispensary, you know, it doesn't really, like, it'll get me high, but it's such a waste. It's like, why spend what comes out with tax, like, $20 for one joint? It's like, what? No. But back then, I was just a kid. I just wanted to get high. Like, I just thought it'd be awesome. It was awesome. And I wish I could replicate that feeling. But thank you for listening. Got a new story tomorrow, of course. If I can remember the name of it, I'll let you know. I was just about to say it, but I forgot. But it'll be good. I remember it's funny, too. It has something to do with something like this. But thanks for watching. Hope everyone has a good day, good week, of course. And be safe. Peace out.